Howdy, I'm Leanna McTaggart, and this will be my video for what we learned throughout the semester. The first week, I really liked about the scientifically based evidence because I learned that in one of my INST classes, so it was kind of cool seeing that show up again. Um, I liked kind of like the breakdown of everything that we were going to learn throughout the semester with phonics, fluence, vocabulary, and comprehension. Um, and then I also learned a lot about dyslexia. I don't have dyslexia, and I don't know anyone that does, so I didn't know much about it. So, reading through the notes and learning a lot about dyslexia was really, really interesting, and what they struggle with and how to easily identify it. So, week two, I learned a lot about structured literacy, the phonics, and morphology and entomology, which we go detail later in the semester, but it was kind of like cool, kind of like the layout of what we were all going to learn this semester, and goes into more detail about it in the later weeks. Week three, I learned a lot about phonology and morphology and what happens when kids don't develop those correctly, and then the best ways to develop them correctly, like nursery rhymes, poems, games, and books, are some of the ways to build phonological awareness. I work at a daycare with like 4 to 5 year olds, and so I always try to read them some books or play some games with them that have the phonological awareness. And this activity on activity 5, I really liked just because it took me back to elementary school whenever you had this long vowel and the short vowel, and it just went into more detail about that. 4 was all about fluency. I like to go into the detail of it. What I really, really liked was the common stumbling spots that you see in fluency with kids, and the different levels, like the independent, instructional, and frustration level that kids may have in a classroom or just in general in the activity. That one, what's this one? Or one of them was, what is that one? 70. I just liked reading it and kind of like figuring out and seeing the problems in a student, like actual problems in a student, and then writing down the problems and what could help and all that. So, yeah. Week 5 and 6, for some reason I wrote week 5 in my notebook, even though I know we don't have week 5. So, I don't know what I did wrong there, but I'm just going to say this is week 5/week 6. So week 5, we learned about the syllable, onset of rhyme, phoneme, phonics and spelling, and then we learned about open, blocked, voice, partial, and the activity, which I really liked because I'm a hands-on learner. It's like putting my hands to my throat and like feeling the p or the s and see how long you could go and all that. That was really fun to me, and it really helped me learn what this was. And the activity that went that, oh gosh, there we go, is that one where you had to check if it was partial, open voiced or continuant, partially blocked, unvoiced, clipped, or blocked. And so that really like reinforced what I knew. And then of course we learned about the Matthew effect. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer in regards to reading. And what I really liked, it says letter reversal switch the way a letter faces, not related to dyslexia. I always thought letter reversals were related to dyslexia, and that's a sign. But reading this notes, it's just something that kids do. They don't know which way a letter faces, so they guess, and that's how we get letter reversals. It has nothing to do with dyslexia. 7, what I really liked was the teaching how to teach cursive. I grew up learning cursive. I know a lot of people don't, and so I didn't know why we had to learn cursive. And here are the advantages to cursive. Eliminates the choice of where to start because cursive has a baseline, provides directional movement from left to right, provides unique letter shapes that are not mirror images, reduces reversals by eliminating the need to erase the pencil. So I think a lot of those actually would help kids a lot, especially with like the letter reversals and and then here it says connecting strokes helps link it to spelling and writing letter faster. So obviously there's a lot of advantages to it, and I'm trying to find the activity here. there is. This is the one I like because it shows like how to group them. So the ones with like common base stroke or the common first strokes. A lot of letters have the common first strokes, and those are the ones you teach first. So week 8 talks about some reliable reading pattern, which is digraphs and trigraphs and quadrigraphs, and then it really shows that the number of phonemes is not equal to the number of letters, which I know can confuse children. It confused me for a while at first until I finally learned. So a blend is made up of 2 or more consonants whose sounds flow smoothly together, but they make separate sounds. So an example would be, here I have stop. So ST is a blend and it flows really well together, but and stop are 2 different sounds. And then a digraph is made up of 2 letters that represent 1 sound. So ch, k, and like check, ch, is 3 phonemes. And then a trigraph is just made up of 3 letters that make 1 sound. And the quadrigraph is 4 letters that make 1 sound. And then this is the activity that one with it where you had to count the number of letters and the number of phonemes, and then you see that not all the time they match. Week 9. Week 9, we learned about the different syllable types and how there's closed syllable, which is the most frequent type of syllable, and then closed syllable ends with at least 1 consonant after 1 vowel. Open syllable ends with a vowel. And then a vowel pair syllable or vowel team has 2 vowels next to each other, and then a vowel R syllable has an R after an A sound, such as in car. And then a consonant LE syllable ends in a consonant, an L, and final E. And then there's 4 major pattern of syllable division. There's vowel VCCV, vowel consonant consonant vowel, VCV, VCCCV, and then VV. And let's see, week 9, 32 to 42. There was this one which of course gave, sorry, this is like backwards, so it's kind of hard. It's like a mirror image. This one, which of course gave the definitions, and then you had to match the definitions. And then this one where these 2 words gave you some words, and then you had to put them in the column that it gave. Words vowel R, closed, open, closed, closed, vowel pair, open, or vowel pair, and then they gave you some words, and you sort them in there. So that really like reinforced, because I was kind of confused on the vowel syllables at first, or not the vowel syllables, sorry, the syllable. It literally just slipped my mind. The syllable type at first, and syllable division, but after doing that, it really like reinforced what we were talking about. Week 10, we talked about the origins of words and how to kind of identify them. So Anglo-Saxon has a lot of the silent sounds, like a nat or knowledge. No, the K, the G are silent, and so they're common everyday words. Outlaw words, which are the irregular words. Consonant pairs, and then consonant digraphs, compounding words, affixing of base words, and vowel pairs. And then for Latin, first of all, Latin oranges rarely stand alone, but some characteristics are root or words ending in CT or PT. I forgot the example I gave. I think act. They're chameleon affixes, affixing of a root. Letters S, C, T, pronounced sh, such as in nation. Few vowel digraphs, closed R, controlled VCE syllable types, and they have a lot of the schwa sound. For the Greek, the consonant clusters of PH, such as in telephone, combining forms, consonant clusters of CH, CVC syllable type, initial RH, such as in rhino, PT, PN, and PS. And then 4% of English words are considered irregular words, and I think a lot of those words are more times than not Anglo-Saxon. And then there's this, which I really liked because I took Latin, I think, like my sophomore year. And so there's just kind of like, it's like this looked familiar to me, and it was really interesting to see where words come from, and they really help expand and build on your vocabulary when you know Latin words. Week 11, we went over a lot. We went over the notes went over the prephonetic stage, the semiphonetic stage, the phonetic stage. What spells with dyslexia may struggle with, and then I really liked the scores to analyze a spelling sample, and I really liked the examples it gave in the book. That way I could just see it for myself and score for myself and see the errors that were made. And then, of course, we have the 5 major rules, which we learned in class, and they're in the notes. We have the floss rule, one syllable base word after a short vowel, final F, L, S, R doubled, such as in floss or fluff. Rabbit rule, 2-syllable base word with 1 medial consonant sound after a short vowel. The medial consonant is doubled, such as in rabbit or tennis. The doubling rule, base word ends in 1 vowel and 1 consonant, and the final syllable is accident, and a vowel suffix is being added. The final consonant is doubled before the suffix is added. And then you have the dropping rule. A base word ends in E and a vowel suffix is being added. The E is dropped before the suffix is added. And then the final rule, we have the changing rule. When a base word ends in a consonant before a final Y and the suffix being added does not have an I, the Y changes to an I. And then the activity, let's see, 56. Sorry, 57. And then you have this one where you have to identify certain spelling patterns. In week 12, we learned all about morphology, which is the study of form, and then morphemes is the smallest unit in English word that contains meaning. So there's in teach, and then if you have teachers, that's 2 different morphologies. Or I'm sorry, if you have teacher, that's 2 different morphologies or morphemes, and then teachers is 3 different morphemes. And then you have a base word, affix, which is just a suffix or a prefix, and then suffix is added before the word. Let me just read it. A suffix is when letters are added to the end of a base word, and then you have different suffixes, just as consonant, vowel, derivative, and inflectional. And then the prefix is when it's added before the base word, and then you only have 2, which is consonant and vowel. And then you have combining forms, a bound morpheme and a free morpheme. A free morpheme can stand by itself, while a bound morpheme cannot, such as suffixes and prefixes. And then we have, I'm just going to show both because it's really confusing trying to show just one, the mirror image. So then these 2 activities, and of course we have others, but these 2 are my favorite because I really like the inflectional ending because you could, it really reinforces learning about the inflectional or not, because that one I was a little confused on, and then I did the activity and it made so much more sense at that point, and then I looked at a few more videos and it made more sense. Week 13 was all about comprehension. What I really found this year was a 4th grade slump, which is a drop off between 3rd and 4th grade scores, let me start over. The 4th grade slump is a drop off between 3rd and 4th grade reading test scores, which I thought that was interesting because I wanted to know why they did that, what's the difference between 3rd and 4th graders and comprehension skills and reading skills. And then you have the I don't like that. I didn't like that. And then you have text dependent questions and what they are. And then you have factors that affect comprehension, which is accurate, fluent word reading, a broad base of vocabulary knowledge, access to robust background knowledge, which I think is really important that teachers need to do. I feel like growing up, teachers didn't activate my background knowledge, so I never really liked reading up until probably high school when they actually started doing that. And then we have an awareness of sentence, paragraph, text structures, and then application for strategies where appropriate. Then we have 2 essential tools for comprehension, which is 1, strong general language comprehension skills, and 2, accurate, fluent word reading skills. Where did I put it? And then 90 and 91. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the pages here. So this is kind of similar to what we had to do in our mini lesson where we had to write a summary that had to be like 1/3 of the sorry, I got it. 1/3 of the passage we read. So 1/3 of the words of, you know what I mean. But yeah, that kind of helped me a lot with my lesson plan there. And it was kind of hard. Whenever I did my lesson planning, it was really hard to do. So I had to really pick out what was important and what was not in a story. Week 14 was all about writing composition. I really liked learning about the different styles of writing, which of course I learned back in elementary school, but it's been a while since I learned it. So I like to review and kind of reminding me of what to write and how to write. And of course, and then you have the descriptive, narrative, persuasive, compare and contrast. And descriptive states the name of the object and the category it belongs in, state the function, purpose or use of the object, state one attribute, state another attribute, make a comparison, and then restate the topic sentence, express an opinion, state, or fact. And then the narrative paragraph, you state the event, tell what happened first, tell what happened next, then tell what happened, and then finally tell what happened, and then restate the event. Then a persuasive paragraph, you're trying to persuade someone of an opinion. So you state an opinion, give a reason, give an example, give a reason, give an example, reason, and then you restate your opinion. And then lastly, you have compare and contrast, where you're comparing and contrasting 2 things. So you state the topic, state the similarities, state the differences, give a closing statement, state the topic, state the similarities and differences point by point, and then give a closing statement. So a lot of these are really repetitive, but it makes for an easy writing composition. Let me find the activities. But I really liked these activities because I don't know, I just like writing about different things. So it was kind of fun to do these and like get a review over what the different writing styles are. This is my soundtrack. A, apron. E, equal. I, iris. O, opener. U, unicorn. R, star. Fern. Or, fork. U, book. U, moon. Ah, saucer. Oi, oil. Ow, out. Itch. Echo. Apple. Octopus. Umbrella. Bat. Dog. Fish. Goat. House. Jam. Kite. Box. Queen. Leaf. Mitten. Nest. Pig. Rabbit. Sock. Table. Valentine. Wagon. Yard. Zipper. Chair. Ship. king, mother, thimble, nope, whistle, explosion.